Hello, and welcome to another video on video marketing. And today we're going to talk about TikTok and how it has really kind of changed the landscape here with social media over the last couple of years. We'll be going through the Essentials of Social Media Marketing, Chapter 11, which is all about TikTok. And there are a lot of example videos that the author has included in here. We won't be watching them in this video today, but I will definitely make a few recommendations on videos that are really good examples of stuff to watch and what really helps to illustrate the stuff that we talk about here. First off, TikTok might be the social network that you are most familiar with. It might be the one that you are the least familiar with. It really depends on who you are and how you consume content. The rise of TikTok has been over the past couple of years. It was originally called Musical.ly, music.ly many years ago. And the parent company called ByteDance is kind of the originator out, I believe it's China, where TikTok was started as an app. It is currently the number one most downloaded and most utilized social media app in the world. And I think for the entirety of 2021 or 10 or 11 months, it was the most downloaded app then as well. You have billions of daily video views, insane average user sessions of almost 11 minutes. And it's really crazy. Couple notes here to really understand, and I think most people that are familiar with TikTok already know this, but you have a 25% of the TikTok base is between the ages of 10 and 19, and then another 22.5% is between 20 and 29. So this is the app that you want to use to reach the youngest audience with buying power. People now YouTube has plenty of younger audience members as well, but TikTok seems to be where you see the youngest content creators and people spending the most amount of time in terms of social media consumption. The really crazy thing here, though, is that despite this such a a skew in terms of a younger audience, you still have 44.5% of users that have an income between 22 and 100K, while another 40% claim to have an income of six figures, with only 15% having an income less than 25K. I'm not sure, that doesn't really add up to me, especially because very few people between the ages of 10 and 19 have any income. And to say that only 15% have income less than 25,000, yet 25% are between the ages of 10 and 19, that seems a little bit off. But Statista is a good source. I use it myself, so who am I to judge? I think that is more of a sampling issue and a reporting issue, where you probably have people between the ages of 10 and 19 who are guesstimating what their household income is, whereas they aren't considering that question as one asked to them as individuals. Nobody wants to say, I make $0 a year. I'm not working. But that argument is for another day. When we look at marketing with TikTok, I personally am not sold on advertising on TikTok, but I am, and I'm not entirely sold on brands being on TikTok as brands. I am all for the influencer movement. I am all for the word of mouth. I am all for people sharing stuff about brands. However, TikTok is trying to build up their brand base. They're trying to get more ad dollars. And as a result, they are peddling some numbers here. And it's really important to take these numbers with a grain of salt, as any numbers that claim to be reported by social media platforms. And maybe this is just me and my mistrust of social networks and the Facebook thing with Zuckerberg and misreporting numbers years ago. But I personally do not think, if you're going to put your brand on TikTok, you've got to do a lot of work, to the point where I honestly think that the brand should just use a spokesperson and have a content creator be that spokesperson and manage the entire account. Some brands are doing it really well. I have seen, I think it's Berea, the pasta, is doing all sorts of psychedelic videos and graphics with some really fun trending music. Whereas on the other side, you have a company like Chipotle, which utilize they just really post other influencers that are using their content, their food, and going to restaurants and trying all sorts of different unique things with their food. Chipotle is not the kind of restaurant that really needs to build its brand awareness. However, they do need to cut through the noise and through all the competitors that exist out there in the QSR burrito world, the quick service burrito restaurant. Because you have competitors like Qdoba, and every big city has a local chain as well, a local burrito place, right? I'm sure you can think of one near you. So how does Chipotle cut through all that noise and kind of be the cutting edge? And they've done this really well, I think. If you were to search Chipotle, I actually have a Chipotle video embedded in the content marketing textbook, but they show all sorts of interesting combinations. People are doing all sorts of mixes with the different sauces. What are some goofy things that you can order at Chipotle? And I think it's really well done. Now, in terms of the most popular brands on TikTok as of last February, I think this kind of tells you all you need to know. Guinness World Records, I mean, that shouldn't be a brand. I mean, these are fun things. These are literally world record breaking videos, like videos of people breaking world records. It seems a little awkward. Red Bull, I mean, if you're familiar with how Red Bull has a social media presence, they don't talk about Red Bull. They do extreme videos. And they've always done social media this way, where rather than promote Red Bull, they will show like BMX bikers, show people parachuting, parasailing, all sorts of goofy, really crazy stunts and some really good production value. So that would explain the first two. If you jump down, you have two more Red Bulls down there, three more Red Bulls. You have Xbox, you have Fortnite, you have these gaming platforms that, of course, they're going to do well if they have any sort of strong content strategy. Disney parks, more of the same. So this is not the kind of bar chart that is really going to make a regular everyday brand want to get involved, because the content that they can promote, there's Chipotle, is going to be just naturally a lot different. The interesting things here, you don't hear Chipotle again. The thing here to really know in the marketing with TikTok chapter, or the marketing of TikTok section, is the understanding that this is kind of the jumping off point for the algorithm section that we have coming up. Some people spend an audience, some audiences spend an average of 52 minutes per day on the app. How does that happen? Why do people engage with brands? How does this happen? And I'm going to jump right down to the algorithm section here. And it's these three things. There's a couple different videos out there, actually a lot of different videos out there of creators who are claiming to have figured out the TikTok algorithm. Whether you believe this or not, is up to you. I'm not sure what I believe. According to TikTok, they claim that the longer a video is watched, the more likely it will be pushed to others. And shares, follows, comments are all good. Content's also good. Creating videos will help as well. Video information is good. If you have captions, it helps. Trending music helps. Hashtags help. And obviously, where you are is good. You have a location setting or anything. And here, this little summary statement. In summary, when a brand or creator makes a video, the algorithm shows that video to a certain pool of current followers. That is a fact. If these followers like the video or watch it until the end, TikTok will keep pushing those kinds of videos, to more followers. And as engagements increase, they'll keep going to the For You page. So that is all true. But the big question is, what is if those followers like the video or watch it till the end means? There is one woman who tracked all sorts of different videos. She claims that it actually is not a matter of likes, but rather comments, and that you need to get, if you can get 10, or was it 10? If you can get 10 comments for every 100 likes, then your video will be pushed further and further. It's guaranteed to reach further and further. Conversely, if people watch it all the way to the end, or to a certain extent, that's another way to do it. So I guess not conversely, but in addition. But then I had another guy who is actually kind of a TikTok influencer on LinkedIn, strangely enough. He says it's only about total engagements and viewing time, and that your account, similar to YouTube, is going to be in better standing the sheer amount of time that people are watching of your videos. So based on this page here, you would think that, oh, I should just have 15-second videos. The shorter the video, the longer percentage of my video people are going to watch by default. So that should help put it in front of more people. This guy who I follow on LinkedIn is saying, that only gets you so far. You need sheer length of viewing. That means if you have a 3-minute video, getting somebody to 2 minutes is going to go a lot further than somebody who watches 13 seconds of a 15-second video. So 13 out of 15 seconds might be a better percentage, but 2 minutes out of 3 minutes is more sheer time, which is just good for your account in general and getting your content on the For You page. I don't know what to believe. Then of course the textbook says if these followers like the video, that's number one. In my own personal experience, I have seen that the likes do help, but so too does viewing time. I personally have never had 10 comments within 100 views, so I have never seen that amount of. I haven't seen that kind of takeoff. I'm sure if I got that, I would see something great, but I'm not there. Finally, I'm going to have to do TikTok in 2 videos like I did with YouTube. Let's talk TikTok content strategy really quick. Then we'll come back and we'll look at the business account, the elements of a TikTok video, and the content strategy. The one thing I wasn't really a big fan of in this chapter was how the author takes a starkly business approach to TikTok, because thinking of everything from a brand perspective here just isn't. I just don't think it's the way to go. Now, all of these are good best practices. You want to create engaging videos with high click-through rates, and you want something short that's straight to the point and shows that stuff. Look at these videos. Some of them are pretty good. You can experiment with longer videos. You can create good captions. Okay, sure. Those are all fine. Hashtags. Okay, here's a good one. Take advantage of music and sounds. I personally have a good experience here. Usually when I am using a trending song, and TikTok can show you which ones are trending, generally you're going to get your videos viewed by more people. Now, there is an option when you're editing your video to turn down music and turn up your original video, so your original sound. For example, I could record myself talking right now, post it to TikTok, put an overlay of a trending song right now, and I could turn down the music all the way to like 10% and turn mine up so that you don't even hear it, right? That's considered like a workaround, and sometimes it works. But from what I have seen, the song needs to be front and center in order for the popularity of that music to carry over into a larger audience. You can always try to do one of the trending dances that is making the rounds on TikTok. You can try different filters and the effects. Those all help too. But you need to make sure that you're staying true to what your message is and your goal is. And with brands, that can be really hard to do. Honestly, if there's one place where a brand can kind of let itself loose, let its hair down, and try something new, I would say TikTok is the place to do it. And taking advantage of the music is a good way to make it happen. When you get down here into the bottom section of the content strategy, creating a branded filter, capitalizing on trends like this, joining a challenger contest, these are all most of these are going to cost money. We'll get to the influencers separately. These are going to cost money, and the hashtags. I mean, creating your own hashtag isn't going to work unless you are willing to go out on a limb and try do something daring. And this is not the ALS challenge here. This isn't the Harlem Shake. I mean, this is stuff that you need to be very, very intentional about, and you need to put some plants or influencers out there to kind of get the trends up and running. Also, the price tag on TikTok right now is astronomical. If you want to run some good ads, if you want some really far-reaching ads, if you want a branded filter, if you want any of that, you're looking at six figures. You're looking at a really pricey endeavor that only the largest of brands can really afford. And you're better off utilizing influencers and creators instead. You are much better, if I'm going to talk about influencer marketing here. You can boil influencer marketing down into 5 steps. One, you need to know your audience really well, and you need to know what kind of influencer resonates with that audience. If you are Chipotle and you're looking for somebody who is big with food or spicy food or quick service burrito food, maybe there's like a guy that just eats burritos or something and rates them. I mean, there's all of that. That's who you need to find. You need to find somebody who creates content and talks about content that will resonate with who you want to reach. Number 2 is to make sure that they are good at it and can do so in such a way that is natural and authentic. There's a lot of influencers out there that just kind of share their stuff. This happens a lot with YouTube, with beauty products, where it's very obvious that it's a product placement and they come off looking very ingenuine. Whereas on TikTok, people generally look a little bit more genuine in what they're trying. And if they're getting paid for it, they do have to disclose it. But at the same time, they can actually look like they're really enjoying it and not just doing it for a paycheck. Number 3 is to make sure that there is a monetization or analytics strategy here. Different influencers and different creators will use different tactics in terms of setting contracts. Sometimes they will just say, hey, I'll make X number of videos for you for this flat rate. Videos will be this length at the end. Other times they will offer or promise a certain number of engagements, reach, things like that. It's important for the brand to have those KPIs in mind and to set those up. I have been on the brand side of 2 types of influencer strategies, or campaigns, I should say. On one side, it was just, hey, influencer, create these 5 videos for us. And he did it and they went pretty well. One of them actually reached like 1 million people. So that part did work well. But then on the other hand, we asked, hey, okay, 5 videos or 2 million views, whichever one, happens first. And it took him 11 videos to get there instead of what he thought would only take 5. And so it was kind of a drag, and it was mixed in with a larger content creation strategy, and it took months. Whereas the first one only took, I think, 3 days. This one took about 4.5 months when it was all said and done. So it was really inefficient. And by the end, it just felt like it was dragging on. And the last couple of videos, you could tell he was almost trying too hard. And I don't want to share which videos those are, but those are a thing. The final one, and this may end up just being 5, is making sure to amplify the influencer content yourself. So this means being able to take these influencer videos and reshare it on another channel, reshare it on another platform, just making sure to get as much out of this content as possible. Actually, that wasn't before, because number 5 is simply make sure that you have good arrangements and relationships with influencers and content creators, because you never know when somebody's going to give you some free publicity down the line. Influencers, once they get monetizing and they've got an agent and they got somebody talking in their ear, they'll be careful not to give anybody any free press. But if you work with content creators early on, and you work with these micro influencers, people with less than 100,000 followers, you can get a lot more out of those types of videos than you would from somebody with, say, 1 million followers or 2 million followers. And TikTok is the place to do that, number one. So that's my quick bit on influencers. This is something, I think there's a whole separate chapter on influencer marketing there, but those are my tips from my own experience. And it's all been on TikTok. I've never worked with influencers anywhere else. For me, I've only used TikTok for my personal brand. And then with other bigger brands, actual companies, has been with influencers and not their own. So that'll wrap up the first video. And next up, we'll talk algorithm, elements of a video, and advertising.